I moved into a new apartment last fall. The apartment was, for the most part, pretty average. I had a one-bedroom on the first floor. It was a corner unit, which was nice. I had a bedroom, bathroom, living room, and kitchen. I was moving into a new state for work and had lived about 2 hours away. When I got to the place, it took me a whole day to move all of my furniture in, but I was able to do it with the help of a coworker. That night, though, something kind of weird happened. I was up pretty late because it was a weekend, and after moving in all of my stuff, I was staying up late by myself watching a movie. At about midnight, I heard a noise coming from outside my door leading to the hallway. It was a man's voice, and it sounded like he was saying, "Jane." He was seemingly calling out for somebody named Jane. At first, I was sort of creeped out. Then, I thought maybe it was just somebody walking down the hall, or one of my neighbors going to their places. I paused the TV and got up, taking a couple of more steps closer to the door. I still heard the man's voice, and I could tell now that it was coming from right outside of my door, and he wasn't moving. Whoever was here must either be one of my neighbors or somebody looking for whoever used to live in my apartment. That's what I was thinking, and whoever did live in my apartment before must have been named Jane. I decided to go out and let this guy know that Jane doesn't live here anymore, and I just moved in. I walked over to the door and opened it. But as I was opening the door, I heard footsteps darting away as if the man was sprinting back down the hallway. When I had opened up the door, I could see down the hallway that the man was gone, but I did just barely see him disappearing around the corner. Why would he try to run away from me? I thought this was pretty strange, but what else could I do? So I went back inside and unpaused my movie. Fast forward to about a week after that. This time, I was in bed sleeping, but was awoken in the middle of the night by a noise. My room was all dark, and it was completely silent, except for a voice. Once again, I heard someone calling out, "Jane." This guy again? What did he want, and who was he? More importantly, where was he? He wasn't outside my door again, or I wouldn't have been able to hear him. It took me a second because I had just woken up, but I realized that whoever it was right outside my bedroom window. I sat up in bed and looked out the window. I saw some guy disappearing out of my view again. I never got a good look at him at all. Now I was really creeped out. This must be some type of mistake. I stayed up, wide awake. I got up and went into my kitchen to get some water. When I was there, I heard another noise coming from the bedroom window. It was like a scratching noise, sort of. I went back into my bedroom just in time to see that the guy was there again. I saw his face for a good second, and he saw mine. It looked as though maybe he was trying to break in. When he saw me, he stopped and then ran away again. From what I saw, he was either bald or had really short hair and was sort of short and stocky. I stayed up, not sure what to do. The guy seemed to be gone now, but I didn't know if he would come back. I stayed up basically for the entire rest of the night. The man never returned though. The next day, I contacted my apartment and told them about it, and then I went to the police. I was told they would patrol the area. However, the man never did come back. I still wonder who it was. Part of me thinks this guy was stalking a woman named Jane who he thought lived there. Either that, or maybe the guy was crazy, or maybe he was stalking me. I really don't know what to make of it. I'm a 23-year-old male, and currently a graduate student at a large university that I want to keep anonymous. To preface this story, I live in a large apartment complex on the 4th story, just a few blocks from campus. And even though the apartment is nice, the area is not. There are lower income projects directly across the street from my apartment, and there are constant police patrols around the area as there are multiple convicted felons living there. I'm very high up from the ground on the 4th floor, and far from the stairwell, and feel relatively safe until one night. This all happened on the night of my 23rd birthday, and I was coming back to my apartment late. I was pretty tired after all the events and fun that I had, so I just changed out of my clothes and into my boxers and went to sleep. To add more context, I had recently put out a lot of nice small Christmas trees, lights, and decorations, and the whole balcony looked very nice. I could turn the Christmas decor on and off using my computer, so before I went to sleep, I turned off all the lighting. This made my balcony and apartment pitch black. I went to bed and fell asleep pretty quickly. Everything was quiet until all of a sudden I was awoken to a loud noise that sounded like a fence railing rattling. I have a pet rabbit, and she sometimes rattles the fence whenever she wants something. I also have a pet camera in my living room area, so I opened up the app on my phone to see what she wanted. However, when I checked the live footage, my rabbit was fast asleep and far from the fencing. I then thought someone must be out on their balcony and accidentally knocked over a plant or something, so I opened up my bedroom door to see what was going on. However, when I turned my head to look out at my balcony, I was jump scared by a medium-sized man with a backwards baseball hat and camo on. I was in pure shock and immediately went back into my room to call the police. After I knew the police were on their way, I poked my head around the door and yelled at the guy to get the F off my balcony.
What the f*** are you doing? What the f*** are you doing, man? Who the f*** are you? Who the f*** are you? Dude, get the f*** out of here!
He didn't seem fazed by this and tried to convince me that he was stuck and to let him in so he could get off of my balcony. However, I wasn't born yesterday, and there was no way I was letting this guy on my balcony into my apartment at 4 a.m. The guy kept talking and said his name is Charlie, and I just finally had enough and said that he's lucky he's still standing there. This was enough for him to climb down the side rail of my balcony and onto the 3rd floor. Later, I got a call from the police and asked about his description, but as of now, I haven't heard if he got caught. I filed a police report, and they're currently looking for him. The crazy part about this story is that I live on the 4th floor, so I'm over 40 feet up in the air, and there's about a 12-foot gap of open air between the apartment balconies vertically. There's also a 40-foot gap between my balcony and the stairs on each side. Aside from damaging a cheap flag, he did not steal any of my expensive Christmas decorations. I found this very odd that he wasn't on my balcony just to steal my decorations. Since the incident, I happened to run into some people that live in the building. I told them about how the guy tried to break in and enter my apartment, and I probably scared them badly when I told them this. I recommended that they reinforce their doors with something to keep them shut. That night, I installed an extra camera for the balcony and went to sleep. I didn't hear or see anything when I checked my camera the next day. However, someone claimed that the guy came back and tried to break down their door, but couldn't because of the reinforcement. This scared me a lot because now I knew the person was not there just to steal furniture off balconies. The next night, nothing happened. When I woke up the next day, an idea popped into my head to check the roof area. There's a roof access area in the complex, so I went up and checked it. I didn't see anything at first, but I noticed how one of the planters were pulled out just slightly. This was extremely odd because you had to look at a specific angle to see that this large planter was pulled out. Also, I go up there fairly frequently, and it's usually very clean and orderly. When I looked behind the planter, I was completely horrified. I found a large and heavy brick that looked like it weighed 30 pounds behind the planter. For reference, our apartment building is not made of brick, and when I looked at some brick buildings in the area, I noticed that the brick I found was a lot larger and more malformed than the bricks on the buildings. I immediately called the police, and they looked around on the rooftop that night to see if there was any more evidence, but they said they didn't find anything. The officer told me to dispose of the brick, as they wouldn't be able to get fingerprints off of the surface. It's the next day now, and I know that nothing else happened since last night. However, when I checked the rooftop again, I found another brick, but this time it was hidden in a plant with tall grass. I think he noticed the last brick was gone and went to get another one. I've been really stressed out about this and have not been able to sleep for the past few days. I hope after this time he's given up, but something tells me that he hasn't. This is a story that happened just a couple of weeks ago. I recently got a new apartment and moved into it. It's a newer building, and I live on the 2nd floor out of 4 floors total in the building. On like the 3rd night after moving in, I was walking in the front of the apartment. It was probably like 11 p.m. I think I was going to get something for my kitchen or something like that, but I randomly decided to look out the peephole. I don't know why, but I just got the urge to. When I did, I happened to see somebody standing right outside my door looking in. It really surprised me a lot, and I jumped back, but then I got curious and quietly looked again. It was some guy. I thought maybe it was a neighbor. He had longer dark hair and was wearing a jacket with the hood up. Then, I saw the guy take a step closer and reach as if he was going to try and open the door. Out of instinct, I jumped back and went inside the bathroom that was only feet away. And then, surprisingly, I heard my front door opening. I quickly shut the bathroom door and locked it. I heard the guy walk right into my apartment. He walked past the bathroom, right into the living room area. I was in shock that whoever this was able to walk right in. I couldn't remember if I had locked my door or not, but I'm guessing not. I was hoping that the guy would turn around and leave, but that did not seem to be what he wanted to do. It sounded like he walked through the living room and then into my bedroom. He was in there for several minutes. Then he came back. I heard him walking out of my bedroom and closer to where I was. My heart started racing like crazy. When he got right outside of the bathroom door, he tried opening it. He seemed to chuckle a little bit to himself, then walked back out of the apartment. He even closed the door behind him. I got out and locked the door, then looked around my place. Nothing seemed to be missing or anything like that. Out of curiosity, I looked outside my window, which I had a pretty good view of the parking lot. It was obviously very quiet now at this time of night. Sure enough, after about a minute or so of watching, I saw the same guy walk out and get into a car, then drive away. I'm not sure who that was or what he wanted, but I'm glad everything turned out okay.